I am Solin. I will assist you in any way I can, for Doriani has ordered me to do so. Conversation beyond that is not required. Fine.
Hello, Outlander. I spent my life studying you in our archives. I can't believe I get to meet one of you in the flesh. This will be an interesting time. We did not have access to the trial in the Quachik Vault. We entreated the favor of Chaos several times over the centuries, but they were not interested. There were very few possibilities in the vault. All of us were dedicated and disciplined to our cause, so there was no infighting. No dramatic turns. Boring to watch, I imagine. I am intrigued by Alva's existence. We were sent to the vault to act as a failsafe for the Baal. Should they be wiped out? Her bloodline proves that at least some of us survived on the outside. Perhaps, despite all of Master Doriani's efforts, the best plan was simply to have faith and let the spirit of our people win through. The first generation sealed in the Quachik Vault passed down stories about you. I never thought you were real. But here you are. With Master Doriani, no less. Truly, this is a time of wonders. We thought you were a curse sent to plague us, but you may be our salvation instead. In the vault, we had our duties, and little else. I spent my free time reading tomes in the archives. They contained highly detailed information about Grey-classed plant life, animal life, and surface cultures. I thought I knew everything. But knowing is nothing next to seeing. As I understand it, the Val were a shining beacon of power that kept the world safe. They were surrounded by savage cultures that burned, pillaged, and ravaged Grey-classed. Without us, modern life must have been quite terrifying. By wiping that all away, the cataclysm may have been a blessing in disguise. The Marrakech were not so bad, according to our tomes. They were militaristic and headstrong. Criminals were tattooed and cast out for a time. The intention was good, but the implementation was wasteful. I should have been using all that blood and those organs for more useful ends. In Quachik, we used everything we possibly could. Nothing discarded. A few tomes describe the Karui as rabid, diseased animals that ate each other and fought for dominance. I don't know if I believe that, though. One account was very different. It was a diary. A noble woman fell in love with a Karui man from the Rongokurai tribe. She described them as a culture of poetic warriors with intensely strong communal bonds. A biased source, clearly, but a strong note of dissension among the texts. I've never read anything about these Etzomites, as you call them. The system of runes you describe is also unfamiliar to me. To be quite honest, the concept of runes sounds like a jest, and I am not your fool to toy with. Thrartus is now home to a culture of exiles from the Eternal Empire. I've never heard of this Eternal Empire. They sound like upstarts who took advantage of our absence. In our era, Thrartus was inhabited by scattered tribes that originally came from the south. They found the slightly warmer climate to their liking. That and the geological vapors. They were described as quite intoxicating. The Asmeri hold the oldest wisdom. They were already in their mountains when the first Val was born from Shivakwa's remains. They will likely still be up there, even now, after this cataclysm. Troubled, but alive. Oriath. A derivative of the original name for the island the Golden Gulf called home. They split off from the Asmeri during a difficult time in history. There was a time of famine, fire, and despair. And the gods rose from the ashes. Or so they say. The only god I've ever seen, supposedly, is lying over there doing nothing to aid us. The histories are confusing. When it comes to the culture, I believe you're asking about Otsasa, Owl, Putembo. These names are treated more like myths than historical facts. Over the years, I've spent a few of our excess newborns trying to scry for dreams about them. So far, I've seen nothing useful. What do you think? Carry on.
Well, I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Least of all back here.
Hey, can't really believe it, me.
I've been quite busy studying that blood magic tome I found. If I'm honest, I'm quite amazed how much it seems to have sunk in already. In any case, welcome back. It's a good thing we resolved our differences when we did. Without Toriani, we'd have died out there. I saw the sky, the people. They were... well, let's just say I now understand why Val ruins look the way they do.
Hello again. I mean, that is to say, my husband's told me all about you. You're the local that caused such a ruckus. I'm Gwennon, his luckier half, and his more exhausted half. Let's put you to work then, shall we? When you've been on a quest as long as I have, you tend to wind down a bit. Sometimes I get the whole gang back together for a run or two. But mostly, it's just me. Over and over. Yet another cataclysm on Rayclast. What happened this time? You didn't reach Oriath soon enough? When exactly did it happen? The ship had just gotten to the harbor. All right. Tell me everything. I'll memorize every detail for posterity. And I'll have Alva write it down. Her pluckiness really gets on a person's nerves over the years. Or so I assume that it would, eventually. He and the children are why I do what I do. And I'll never give up, even if it all seems hopeless. The relics of our ancestors are where they're supposed to be now, at least. Which is to say, scattered all over? Ugh, this job is pure chaos. Chaos? Why would you ask me about them? See you again. Hello again. See you again, and again,
That's a small consolation. We have lost so much. The Hooded One used the weapon to keep us alive during the Cataclysm. We were too close. It absorbed too much energy and was shattered. I retain only a piece of it. The situation is grim. The Hooded One has become comatose. Rayclast has been devastated and is no longer habitable. Grieving would only be a waste of precious time. We must face reality and make difficult choices.
We are living the worst possible outcome, but I did anticipate every contingency. Before us is a translocation device, which should allow us to open portals to a wide range of coordinates across Rayclast. With this, we can reclaim the world from the grasp of corruption so that civilization can one day return to its former heights. There was some damage, but while you were unconscious, we worked to repair the machine. I believe it will function as desired, but it must be tested. That is where you come in. By placing waystones in the machine, they will help calibrate the journey. The corruption at the destination will respond to both the energies we use and that we ourselves expect to find. Let us use this malleability to our advantage. Let us see if the machine is still capable.
In a time of minimal sentience, and most of it mad, what you encounter out there can be quite malleable. What we expect to find can shape things. The energies we use in our translocation device can influence outcomes. That device was made possible, after all, by a very special patron. They are likely watching us even now, and finding great humor in our travails. I was told many cryptic things. I was asked to... No, I shouldn't say. I don't understand, at least not yet. I was told this was the only way, yet still, I fought to find another path. I believe we make our own fates. But here we are. If only I had the full picture. Speak.
Yes.
A grand alliance has been formed! The beast is in Oriath! Soon they sail to siege the fallen city!
Well met.
Greetings. We can only have faithful.
Spirit guide.
With our force.
Rayclast is wounded and broken. We must reshape its future and heal it anew. The initial cataclysmic event is over, but corruption is still radiating from certain locations. From these points, it spreads like a disease. Report back to me with your findings, and we will plan our next move.
You must start with the areas of least corruption. They are still deadly, but should be survivable for short spans. Cleanse enough of them to give us an outside foothold.
The disciples of Kamasa stockpiled a great many things in their modern lust for wealth. The right key may open doors long forgotten.
Straight through the heart. Let's gorilla the hunt.
Need a moment to prepare. Away with you! A clean kill! Pack's full.
Go on. Indeed.
Who sent you? Yes. Acceptable. Goodbye. Who sent you? Valgold is worth more than... Go then.
The device still functions, despite the damage the Cataclysm caused. Good. Now, using the device, you must seek out major sources of corruption for us to cleanse. Go. Go.
Who sent you? Who sent you? Acceptable. Fine, fine.